very much for tuning in to Parliament Television this afternoon, Tuesday, 10th February 2026. Our live proceedings of the House will resume at 14:30 hours, and we'll be able to bring to you the live proceedings as they happen right up here in the House, right here at Parliament buildings. And to be with you on live proceedings, my name is Pauline Monga.
Thank you so much for joining us on Parliament Television. My name is Porcent Ndovi, and our two sign language interpreters, we have Jason Manda, and later on we'll have Chola Kauma. Let's quickly look at business that was considered on the floor of the House. That was last week on Friday, and business did begin by notice taken at 0903 hours that the quorum was not formed, and Madam Speaker did inform the House, and the bells were rung and House counted, and quorum had been formed. Business commenced.
Yes, and when business commenced, there were two announcements that were rendered on the floor of the House by the Honourable Madam Speaker. And in the first announcement, the Honourable Madam Speaker did inform the House that the Electoral Commission of Zambia had organized a meeting with all members of Parliament to discuss the Commission's readiness and the roadmap for the delimitation exercise, which would involve the realignment of wards as well as create 70 new constituencies.
And Madam Speaker did state that the meeting would take place on Tuesday, 10th February 2026 from 09 hours to 11 hours in the amphitheatre here at Parliament buildings. She further stated that the organizers had put in place logistics to facilitate the members' participation in the meeting, and requested all members of Parliament to be punctual for the important engagement.
And after that announcement, there were three urgent matters without notice that were raised under Standing Order 142, and these were as follows. One, it came from Pika Central Member of Parliament, Mr. Francis Kapianga, and he wanted to find out on why government had not disbursed part of the 2024 Constituency Development Fund to various councils in the country, and this was inadmissible.
The other urgent matter without notice, which was inadmissible, came from Chairman North Member of Parliament, Mr. Mutachalo. It was on why the government was selling maize at a higher price and providing emergency cash transfer relief amounting to 400 kwacha instead of relief food.
And Mr. Menyani Zulu, Member of Parliament for Nyimba, did raise one urgent matter without notice, and this was whether government could suspend the installation of solar panels using the Constituency Development Fund in 2026 to facilitate the use of CDF for the construction of school facilities. This was also inadmissible.
And last week on Friday, we did witness one ministerial statement that was rendered on the floor of the House by the leader of government, the acting leader of government business. And this ministerial statement was on the application of Article 57 of the Constitution of Zambia, following the demise of the Mpika District Council chairperson. He stated that the government was informed of the demise of the council chairperson on 4th February 2026, and the minister informed the House that pursuant to Article 57(2) of the Constitution, a by-election should be fully concluded on later than 13th February 2026. He further stated that the period was inefficient to meet the statutory requirements for a free and fair election. Therefore, no by-election would be held to elect the Mpika Town Council chairperson.
And in another ministerial statement, the Minister of Agriculture informed the House that with regards to the payments for farmers who supplied maize to the Food Reserve Agency, FRA, during the 2025 crop marketing season, as of 15th January 2026, the government had disbursed a total amount of 11,348,474,100 kwacha to the banks for payments for farmers leaving no balance that is outstanding.
The House did proceed to consider questions for oral answer, and the first one was Understanding Order 82. This was urgent in nature, and this question was question number 153. And again, the House did proceed to consider another question for oral answer, question 154 to 156, and 157, Understanding Order 80, and these are ordinary questions.
And of course, there was a notice which was taken at 11:03 that a quorum not formed, and Madam Speaker did order bells to ring, and the House counted the quorum was formed, and business resumed. The House went on to consider questions for oral answer number 155, understanding order number 80. Unfortunately, it was not considered actually because the member was absent, and therefore the question elapsed. And then there was a message from the President, in which he was urging the House to reconsider the closed-circuit television Public Protection Bill, National Assembly Bill number 1 of 2025. And the clerk did read the message from the President, stating that the message, together with the bill, stood referred to the Committee on National Security and Foreign Affairs for re-examination.
There was a consideration of the Teaching Professional Bill, National Assembly Bill number 14 of 2025. At committee stage, it did pass committee stage with amendment, and report stage to be taken today, which is the 10th day in the month of February 2026.
And that was business for yesterday. The House did adjourn accordingly, rather on Friday, the House did adjourn accordingly at 12:05. And just now we shift our attention and look at what is expected to come for discussion on the floor of the House today, Tuesday, 10th February 2025. In total, we have one question that is expected to be considered under Standing Order 82. We have 5 questions to be considered under Standing Order number 80, and then we have one ministerial statement and urgent matters if there will be any, as well as some announcements if there will be any. So briefly, that is what is expected to come for consideration or on the floor of the House. And we just have a brief look at some of the business percent.
Yes, some of the business, like my colleague highlighted, we do expect a ministerial statement, and this ministerial statement will come from the Minister of Energy, and it is on the electricity situation in the country. And it's also worth acknowledging the people that are following us on our socials, the National Assembly of Zambia Facebook page, and indeed those of you that are following us on our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for finding time. And Pauline, question for answer, understanding order 82. This is a question in urgent nature. Maybe the detail of the question. Maybe before we look at that question, Pauline, let's look at the Vice President's, the motion that the Vice President is expected to move.
Yes, President, we did see the President of the Republic of Ghana, Mr. John Dramani Mahama, address the House last week on Thursday, 5th February 2026. And therefore, the House is expected actually today to debate this motion. So we expect Her Honor, the Vice President, actually to move the motion of thanks this afternoon to enable the House to continue debating the President's speech.
The Teaching Professional Bill, like we hinted to earlier on, we expected to be considered at a report stage. And let's share with you the details of the questions that are expected to be considered on the floor of the House today. Like I mentioned, question 158, which is Understanding Order 82, urgent in nature, will come from Mr. Mtachalo. We now cross over to the floor of the House for the resumption of today's business. My name is President Ndova, and Pauline Monga will be on hand to give you a live commentary.
Members of Parliament, Madam Speaker. Yeah.
Sentencing of Zambia, proud and free, land of wealth and joy in unity, victors in the struggle for the right. We want freedom's fight, oh, one, strong and free. Africa is our with and blessed by those who blend
God, who in your infinite wisdom and providential goodness has appointed the offices of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of the people. We beseech you to consider, with your abundant favor, us your servants, whom you've been pleased to call to the performance of such important responsibilities in this land. Let your blessing descend upon us here in Parliament assembled, and grant that we may, as in your presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interest you've committed to our charge. Amen. Order. Honorable members, I have 3 announcements to make. The first one is, honorable members, I wish to recognize the presence in the public gallery of district and constituency executive committee members of the United Party for National Development, UPND, from Livingstone District. On behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, I warmly welcome the visitors in our midst. I thank you. You may be seated. The second announcement, honorable members, I wish to recognize the presence in the public gallery of pupils and teachers from Lumbo Secondary School in Gwembe District. On behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, I warmly welcome our visitors in our midst. Thank you, and you may be seated. The last announcement, order, honorable members. Honorable members, I wish to inform the House that the Parliamentary Information and Research Library has been granted permission to conduct a special exhibition of the library collection in the chamber foyer here at Parliament Buildings. This exhibition will commence today, Tuesday 10th, and will continue until Thursday 12th February 2026. A curated section of the library's most valuable and insightful books will be on display. This collection has been carefully chosen to reflect the rich history of legislation, political thought, and national development, and that forms the very foundation of our deliberations in this honorable House. I therefore encourage all honorable members to take a moment, as their schedules allow, to visit the exhibition table at the main building chamber foyer and to visit the library to access books of interest and other information in both electronic and hard copy. Library staff will be on hand to attend to any questions and assist members in any way possible. I thank you. Urgent matters without notice. I see none. I have permitted the Honorable Minister of Energy to present a ministerial statement. The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to thank you for granting me this opportunity to deliver a statement to this august House and indeed to the nation on the electricity situation in the country. Madam Speaker, under the able leadership of the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, the New Dawn government remains firmly committed to decisive actions, practical solutions, results-driven service delivery, in this regard, Madam Speaker, government has put in place.
Order, honorable members, let's give the minister a chance.
The government has put in place a deliberate and well-coordinated measures aimed at safeguarding the country's energy security both now and into the future. Madam Speaker, the government's policy direction is anchored on three key priorities. One, to stabilize electricity supply for households, businesses, industry, and essential public services. Two, to diversify and expand the national electricity mix over the medium-long term to enhance resilience. And three, Madam Speaker, to achieve universal access to clean and sustainable and reliable energy for all Zambians by the year 2030. Madam Speaker, may I now update this august House that Zambia's national installed electricity generation capacity currently stands at 3,880 megawatts, of which 3,168 megawatts is generated by ZESCO Limited, while 712 megawatts is contributed by independent power producers. However, due to the prevailing hydrological and operational constraints, available domestic generation presently stands at 1,635 megawatts. This deficit is being supplemented by 511 megawatts of electricity imports, bringing total available supply to 1,971 megawatts against current national demand of approximately 2,400 megawatts. Madam Speaker, the House may wish to note that Zambia has continued to honor export commitments amounting to 175 megawatts, in line with the existing contractual obligations. The resulting deficit is being managed through power imports via regional interconnectors, which continue to play a critical stabilizing role in the national grid. In the short to medium term, this gap is expected to narrow progressively as additional generation capacity comes on stream. Notably, Madam Speaker, the commissioning of the pipeline solar power projects will add climate resilient capacity, while the planned thermal coal-based generation projects will provide dependable baseload power to support system stability. These measures will gradually reduce reliance on imports and reinforce national energy security. Madam Speaker, with the respect to hydrological conditions, the performance of the 2025-2026 rainfall season to date, together with the projected outlook of the remainder of the season from the regional climate authorities and the Zambian Meteorological Department, confirms the occurrence and continuation of normal to above normal rainfall across the country. Madam Speaker, as a result of this improved rainfall performance, water levels in our major reservoirs continue to rise and are projected to be higher than those recorded in 2024-2025. This positive hydrological trend has enabled the Zambezi River Authority the Zambezi River Authority to allocate increased water volumes for power generation. In particular, ZESCO Limited has been allocated 15 billion cubic meters of water for power generation at Kariba North Bank Power Station, compared to 14 billion cubic meters in 2014 and 18 billion cubic meters in 2024. This increased allocation is enabling ZESCO to sustain an average generation of approximately 400 megawatts at Kariba North Bank Power Station throughout 2026. Madam Speaker, looking ahead, government will commission new solar power projects and clean thermal power plants during 2026, which will further strengthen supply and increase system reliability. Consequently, electricity supply hours are projected to be maintained at 24 hours per day. Madam Speaker, on electricity tariffs in April 2023, the Energy Regulation Board approved a 5-year multi-year tariff framework for ZESCO 2023-2027, premised on a gradual migration towards cost-reflective tariffs. Following the declaration of drought as a national disaster in February 2024 by the President of the Republic of Zambia, the ERB suspended the multi-year tariffs and introduced emergency tariffs to enable ZESCO to raise revenues for emergency power imports and to encourage the migration to alternative sources of power such as solar and liquefied petroleum gas, LPG. These tariffs were implemented in 3-month intervals from 1st November 2024 to 31st October 2025. Madam Speaker, following the expiry of the emergency tariffs on the 31st October 2025, the ERB reinstated the multi-year tariff framework effectively 1st November 2025. Under this framework, tariffs for residential, commercial, social services, and water pumping customers have been maintained. Madam Speaker, as a listening government, we are alive to the concerns of the citizens, and we take them seriously. To address citizens' concerns that electricity units are depleting faster, I have directed ZESCO Limited and the Energy Regulation Board to conduct the investigation on the matter and provide a report by 16 and provide a report by 16th March 2026. Government therefore encourages citizens to exercise patience while investigations are being conducted. The findings will be availed to the public once concluded. Madam Speaker, as I conclude, the New Dawn government remains fully committed to securing a stable, reliable, and resilient electricity supply for Zambia. We will continue to closely monitor the power situation, strengthening coordination with the key stakeholders, and implement additional interventions where necessary to address any emerging supply gaps. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. Honorable members are now free to ask questions on points of clarification on the ministerial statement presented by the Honorable Minister of Energy. The Honorable Member for Kwacha.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Minister, for that ministerial statement that you have just delivered on the floor of the House. First thing first, we would like to thank the government through our hard-working President Hakainde Hichilema, for facilitating that this problem that came about through drought has actually been addressed, and it has been addressed adequately. As I stand right now, my people in the constituents, they are very, very happy with this development. However, Madam Speaker, I would like to find out the corroborating high rates that customers are experiencing. There is an additional increase on the purchases relating to electricity units. So I would like you, Honorable Minister, to clarify the increase, how it has come about. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and thank you very much, Honorable Member. Madam Speaker, as I was rendering my statement, I did explain that in 2023, we moved to multi-year tariffs. But during the drought, Madam Speaker, we decided to suspend the multi-year tariffs and introduced emergency tariffs in order to address the challenges that we are facing. And Madam Speaker, we have said again that we have reverted back after expiring date of the emergency tariffs. We have reverted back to multi-year tariff framework. And in this case, Madam Speaker, there's no increase that has been made by ZESCO. Currently, we have got categories of, the categories that we have are classified as follow. We have R1, those we have classified as vulnerable citizens who their first 100 kilowatts units is costing 35 ingwe. 35 ingwe. Yes. So we have category number 2, those who are consuming from 101 to 200. This category, Madam Speaker, they buy their units at 1 kwacha. And we have category number 3, from 200 to 300. These are buying their units at 2 kwacha 42 ngwe. And we have those who are consuming more than 400 units, are the ones buying the units at 3 kwacha. Those categories have been maintained from the time they were introduced. I want just to believe that because we were coming from a very serious situation where people were used, even when you buy 100 units, they will be there because there was no service. Now that we have jumped from
The
3 hours.
Honorable Minister, you are responding through me. Don't look behind.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, it is a very big jump from others were experiencing 1 hour of power supply, others 2 hours, others 3 hours. Now, a big jump to 24 hours. So the consumption levels is automatically have changed. And this is what is showing people that, there's probably a tariff increase. But still more, I have stated in my statement concerning the worries citizens have told us. We have said these are just meters installed by human beings. We need to do an investigation to find out what is the truth, what are the facts which are happening to the complaints people are making. So, Madam Speaker, this is the issue I've assured the nation that we are investigating, but I just wanted to remind them that there's this jump from 3 hours to 24 hours. Maybe consumption has also made us at our household level, to start using geysers and all those things. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Shiwangandu.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I'm just as shocked as the many citizens following the explanation of the Honorable Minister. Madam Speaker, people have not started consuming electricity when this minister has become minister. There have already been 2 categories, Madam Speaker. Power for industrial consumption and power for domestic consumption. I want the minister to explain to the people, because it seems him maybe he benefits from free electricity. He might not understand the complaints from the people.
The Honorable Member for Shiwangandu, please just ask your question. Don't describe
Madam
the
Speaker,
minister.
because it doesn't even need investigations. Even here, you just need to ask members of parliament how much they are spending on electricity to know that indeed there is a road due. People are seeing the units depleting like no man's business. And it doesn't forget the road shedding that they were subjected to. The question is, what has been the basis for you to categorize the power meant for domestic use? Because domestic use of power has always been the same. What makes you determine the vulnerability categories of power consumers according to the categories you are giving? And how is the consumption rate?
Honorable Member, it's 1 question per member.
Madam Speaker, we want him to give an explanation to the people who are suffering.
You can share your question with another member. Please just ask 1 member so
Madam
that
Speaker,
the
I just want the minister to
respond.
explain in simplistic terms, so that my people in the Shiwangandu constituents can hear him. What categories they are using in breaking down power for domestic use. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. First, Madam Speaker, I want to correct the Honorable Member. I don't get free electricity. If the time when he was a minister, he was getting free electricity, not this administration. I pay, regardless that I'm the Minister for Energy, I pay for my electricity services.
We all pay you.
And Madam Speaker, I did explain that we migrated to multi-year tariffs framework. And the way we have done this framework, we have put people in categories. So here I was trying to illustrate how we have classified these categories. So now, Madam Speaker, to make the honorable member to understand, we have said we have category number 1, we have category number 2, we have category number 3. And I was also explaining...
Order, honorable members, order.
And I was also explaining that people in category 1 are paying their units at 35 Ingwe. Those issues you can go and verify with ZESCO. It is there. And they also have said category 2, they are buying their units at 1 kwacha. And that's how the framework has been set. And they have also, Madam Speaker, said, with the concerns...
Order, honorable members.
I've also said, Madam Speaker, that with the concerns that are coming from our good citizens, I have also directed ZESCO and the ERB to verify these concerns so that we have the correct information to address the challenges that people are mentioning. But currently, I don't have any document which indicates that ZESCO have increased the tariffs.
The honorable member Fonkana, you have to ask through the chair or through the speaker. Don't engage the minister. You haven't been given the floor. We make progress. The honorable member for Sesheke.
Madam Speaker, thank you so much for the opportunity to interact with the Minister of Energy. Minister, I've listened to your ministerial statement carefully, explaining step by step what this administration has done. And my question is very precise, which I believe is part of the solution to the problem that you and this government inherited. Minister, ZESCO has been operating on a non-cost reflective for a very long time, a matter that the entire nation knows, members of parliament that are here are aware of. You came up with the open access policy. You came up with the multi-year tariff framework up to 2027 in order to respond to the non-cost reflectivity that ZESCO has been operating for a very long time, making a loss of about 5 cents per kilowatt, which amounted to a very higher figure, which in turn made ZESCO to become not bankable. Now, my very substantive question and very sincere response that I want to get from you, Minister, is what is the correct position with regards to the non-cost reflectivity, multi-tariff framework, as well as the open access in helping ZESCO to breathe from the challenges that it inherited from the previous administration, where my elder brother, Steve, was a cabinet minister. Thank you.
Thank you. Before the honorable minister comes in, the honorable member for Shiwangandu, what is your point of order?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Point of order is on the Honorable Minister. Madam Speaker, I don't know what the Minister of Youth and Sport is trying to do. Madam Speaker, I posed the question to the Honorable Minister, and I wanted to know the criteria used to determine those tariffs that he went back to speak to. And in response to my question, he just went back to read out the bands and the categories that you are speaking to. And I further didn't accuse him of getting free electricity. I used the word maybe because of his failure to understand what we are all complaining about, including the citizens. Was in order, Madam Speaker, to ignore my question and go back to just read the same statement that he was speaking to. I think your serious ruling, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Energy is about to respond to a question. Since there was a portion that was not attended to, I'm going to ask the Honorable Minister of Energy just to answer the question that was raised on the criteria used to categorize those people that you mentioned in your response. So the Honorable Minister of Energy, you may respond.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Indeed, Madam Speaker, this administration inherited, Madam Speaker, a very bad situation with ZESCO. ZESCO was in credit. It was not even bankable, Madam Speaker. ZESCO was a cash cow. Now, our coming in to change the reforms, the reason why we brought even open access is to make sure that we help ZESCO to sustain its operation itself. We have tried by all means to make these policies to make ZESCO bankable. Even investors, Madam Speaker, those who are coming now, we have serious issues of taking ZESCO as an off-taker. Reason being that ZESCO, their balance sheet is in a bad shape, arising from how the previous administration used this entity. Madam Speaker, today we are proudly to say ZESCO now is in the right direction. Even investors now are having confidence into ZESCO. And today we are saying that by introducing these reforms, the multi-year tariffs is to make sure that the multi-year framework is to make sure that ZESCO becomes sustainable by having tariffs that are cost-reflective. This is what we are doing as this administration. And also coming to his question, Honorable Campion, Madam Speaker, I was explaining why we have put this framework in the manner I was explaining. I have said we have categories that we have put in place. Category 1, who are buying their units at 35 Ingwe. And I've said category 2, they are buying their units at 1 kwacha. And category 3 are the ones who are buying their units at 2 kwacha. And it's depending on how you consume the services. And these are very clear explanations that we have rendered to our nation, to our good people of this country. So, they made ZESCO to be in the shape it was, the previous administration, where my brother was serving as a minister. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Member for Lukasha.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Minister, the country is still grappling with the need to meet the demand of electricity supply to citizens. I just want to find out why government has continued to export electricity in the midst of this challenge. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member. Madam Speaker, first of all, the nation have to know that there are contractual obligations that we cannot ourselves just come and say we are stopping this. We have to do them smartly. In this region, in this Africa, we depend on each other. Even in my statement, Madam Speaker, I've said we are importing 511 megawatts. We are importing from others. So, meaning we rely on each other. Yes. And the 175, compared to what you are importing, 175 is to respect and keep our relationship with our neighbors. And that's why we reduced it. You remember last time when I came to give a statement here, we were exporting more than 175. We have reduced it. Look what the number it is. This is how we live in our SADC region, including even Eastern region. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Mukushi South.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, you are aware, Madam Speaker, that during the time PF was in power, we never used to have load shedding 24 hours. Madam Speaker, the minister is very much aware that he has subjected the Zambian people into poverty because of his loading shedding system. And he knows very well that there's only 2 months that is remaining before they are kicked out of government. Madam Speaker, they are very much aware that they are going this year.
Order, Honorable Member. Order. Order. The Honorable Member for Mukushi South. A point of order is based on a procedural breach. You are now telling us what happened in the former regime. Can we please stick to the ministerial statement that has been offered on the floor of the House? If there is a mistake or a breach that has been committed, go straight to the breach. Don't take us backwards because we are busy. There's plenty of work to be done. What is the breach that has been committed? You may proceed.
Most guided, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the minister, when he was answering the question from the Honorable Member of Shuangani, he kept on referring backwards. The House now is telling me not to refer backwards, when he, the minister, is the one who started referring backwards. Is he in order, Madam Speaker, to keep on talking about the previous government when he knows that he has failed? The people on the street are moving without the welders, their small businesses have been closed because of his recklessness, of his load shedding. Madam Speaker, is in order when he knows that in August he will not be a minister. He will be kicked out of government. And is in order, Madam Speaker, to refer to the previous government when you have guided always that stop referring to the previous government. I seek your serious ruling, Madam Speaker.
Order.
71.
Honorable members, we are almost coming to the end of our term, and we've got our own standing orders. A point of order is supposed to be brief and precise. Now, the honorable member brought in, I don't know whether there were 3 items mentioned there. So that point of order is not admissible. The Honorable Member for Pemba.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, and thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for the ministerial statement. And of course, the Zambian people appreciate the effort made to ensuring that we have electricity now almost 24/7. You indicated that currently we are importing 560 megawatts. Honorable Minister, can you inform the nation what measures are you putting in place to reducing the amount of megawatts that are being imported? Thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and thank you very much, Honorable Member. Madam Speaker, in my statement, Madam Speaker, I did mention that we are yet to commissioning projects that are going to be completed this year. Also next year, also that other year. And as we bring in these new plants on the national grid, we are going to reduce on the imports. That's what we have put in place. You know, this administration, Madam Speaker, it works methodically. We don't do things chipante-pante. So, Madam Speaker, we always
Honorable Minister, what is chipante-pante?
Haphazards. We do things systematically. So that's what I mean by chipante-pante. Madam Speaker, we have got so many projects that are coming on board to start injecting power into our national grid. Some are from solar, some are from clean thermal power. That's what we are doing. There's a line of projects, Madam Speaker. We are even targeting to 10 gigawatts for the nation. That's how we are planning, Madam Speaker. So the imports issue will be reduced as soon as we start putting, getting power to the projects that we are in the pipeline and are yet to be commissioned. I thank you, Madam.
The Honorable Member for Kanfinsa.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, last week I did rise on an urgent matter on the issue relating to why units were actually depleting. Maybe I want to find out, for the benefit of our residents that are following this conversation, Madam Speaker, we want the Minister to be very categorical. Have you increased the cost of the units, or basically the units are depleting faster than expected? Madam Speaker, people have been asking out there, and I think that we need to simplify the conversation for the benefit of our people. So, Honorable Minister, have you increased the cost of the units, or you have actually found a different formula to subject our people to? Because clearly, Madam Speaker, for the same cost of amount of money, the units are not lasting as expected. Madam Speaker, that is my follow-up question to the Minister. Thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member. I want to believe that maybe the Honorable Member was not in the House. I have responded to that concern. I have said ZESCO has not increased the tariffs. That's what I have said. And also, I have stated and mentioned that I have directed ZESCO and ERB to conduct investigation in regard to the concerns our citizens have raised. So we are waiting to have the true and fact information. That's when we can address this matter our citizens have raised. That's the position. So be patient, Honorable Member, that I have directed ZESCO and ERB to investigate these concerns our citizens are complaining. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Lunte.
Madam Speaker, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to make a follow-up question. Honorable Minister, it could have been graceful for you to begin by apologizing to the Zambian people for the amount of pain you caused them when you load-shedded them so badly. Honorable Minister, I can assure you people have lost livelihoods because of your government's, failure to give them electricity. But I'm happy that your tariffs are gravitating towards the cost-reflective tariffs. You have given us 4, 50 ngwe, 1 kwacha, 2 kwacha 42 ngwe, and 3 kwacha. I don't know which one among these is gravitating towards cost-reflective tariffs. Honorable Minister, what is the cost-reflective tariff, and which among these is gravitating towards that? Thank you, Madam.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Destroyers of ZESCO.
Madam Speaker, this is not the first time I've come to this House to explain the situation concerning electricity supply. I remember when we were going through very difficult time, I did mention to the nation the challenges that have faced us. And I assured the nation of our commitment to work tirelessly to resolve this matter. And that's how I can demonstrate this administration how caring it is. And I did mention during that time that by December 2025, the situation will not be the same. Because this, Madam Speaker, it was not created by this administration. No. The drought was not created by anybody. The credits ZESCO was subjected to, it was by your administration when you were a minister yourself. So, Madam Speaker, this administration, what it has done is to come up with reforms that are going to help us and grow and enhance the energy subsector. And this is what we have done, Madam Speaker. And these results are being seen. Today we have bounced back to 24/7 power supply. And this is what the Zambians expected. We have done this, Madam Speaker. What more else can we do other than providing 24 hours to our good citizens of this country? Compared to those who messed up ZESCO. Compared to those who made ZESCO to be a cash cow. As Madam Speaker, we have done our best as an administration to address the challenges. A person who is welding at Buseko, a person who is welding at Kalingalinga, we have provided. Even when, Madam Speaker, we were going through this difficult time, we were able to find interventions to help our people. That is the love we have for our citizens. We provided genset as immediate interventions. Now these colleagues,
they were together.
Especially those who were in government as ministers, they must be shameful. And they keep on dreaming that they are going to, we are going to be kicked out.
The Honorable Minister, can you please withdraw shameful and replace it with a better word? Just withdraw the word shameful.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I withdraw shameful to say our colleagues must learn to repent. Because these people, they owe a lot to the people of this country. And Madam Speaker, the way we have put these categories is to make sure that we are going to migrate to the cost-reflective tariffs because we have to move them systematically. Hence, we have seen the vulnerable, we have said we are going to give them 35 ingwe. They will buy 35 ingwe per unit.
Honorable members,
we have said the second category
the Honorable Minister, just to help you, the consultations are becoming louder. Can we please give room to the Honorable Minister because the people out there are also listening? Let's have a quiet environment. The Honorable Minister, you may continue.
Madam Speaker, I was almost concluding to say the third category is 2 kwacha 42 ngwe. These amounts are the ones which we have put in place systematically for us to slowly migrate to cost-reflective tariffs. But it has to be done gradually. Madam Speaker, we cannot just come and say from 35 ingwe, can we go to 6 kwacha? We have a system that we have put in place in the framework that we have set for ourselves. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Bangweulu.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. A point of order pursuant to 71, factual information. Madam Speaker, we are discussing whether ZESCO has adjusted tariffs or not. Instead of the minister providing that information, he's saying something else. We are not discussing the yesterday, we are discussing the tariffs today. We all realize that the increase in tariffs has affected a lot of Zambians. But now, the point of order is directed to that minister by insinuating here that the drought was caused by PF. He was saying the drought was caused by PF. Madam Speaker, is the Minister of Road Shading and High Tariffs in order to insinuate that PF caused the drought. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Member for Bangweulu, I won't take that point of order because even yourself, the way you've addressed the minister is not appropriate. We all know that he's the Minister of Energy, not the Minister of Load Shedding and whatever. We don't have a ministry of that nature in our country. So I won't take that point of order. We make progress. In these 2 minutes, the Honorable Member for Lunte, I had given you an opportunity for a question.
Madam Speaker, my question was very simple. I asked the minister, what is the cost-reflective tariff? Very simple. The minister said all the things he had to say, only avoided to answer the question. Please direct him to answer the question. Thank you, Madam.
Okay. The Honorable Member for Kamfinsa, you may take your last question. And the Honorable Minister will attend to that question, which was not attended to. The Honorable Member for Kamfinsa is gone. I'll take the Honorable Member for Skongo.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I think it's important to put things in context. Load shedding did not start with the New Dawn administration. It was even there during the PF administration. However, I would like to thank and commend the New Dawn administration for being magnanimous and facing the problem with sincerity. And today, as we speak, load shedding is a thing of the past. They have put in place what we would call a sustainable solution to the problem. Unlike in the past administration where citizens were being urged to go and urinate in the Kariba. Now, Madam Speaker, Honorable Minister, given the pace of economic development that we are witnessing in this country, investment in agriculture, investment in manufacturing, investment in mining, I think our energy needs will still go up. Now, the question I have is, do we have plans, especially in the long term, to invest in nuclear for economic purposes? Thank you so much.
The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member. Indeed, this administration, Madam Speaker, is having plans to keep on projecting the targets that we have committed ourselves. I know, Madam Speaker, maybe the Honorable Member missed the point. We are still saying our target by 2030 is to reach 10 gigawatts. In that, we are looking at our energy mix. Nuclear is one of the energy that, Madam Speaker, processes have already started. And as we are talking now, we are doing capacity building for the experts to understand what is required for us to start investing in the nuclear energy. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
And the question by the Honorable Member for Lunte, if you still remember it.
Madam Speaker, the cost reflective is the reason why I was explaining that these systems that we have put in place will speak or will drive our system to migrate to cost tariffs reflective. That's what I was explaining. And I have mentioned the categories why we have planned it in that fashion. This will drive, we have not increased. Madam, if it's the issue of increasing, we have not increased. All we have done is to come up with a plan which will gradually migrate us to cost-reflective tariffs. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Member for Chairman North, being the last member.
Sorry, Madam Speaker, my question has already been overtaken by events.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Chipiri.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, when you are giving the statement, you stated that ZESCO is producing now power what we can not even consume. We are consuming less than what they are producing. But again, from the same mouth, you said we are importing 500 megawatts plus. Now I'm wondering if ZESCO is producing enough with the surplus, but we have continued importing. Is it for exporting? We are importing for exporting, or to maintain the cooperation where we are importing in order for satisfy other countries? No, I want to know, Minister, why are we importing which we don't need? Because ZESCO now is producing more than what we can consume. Why should we not use the money that's what he said. Madam Speaker, I want clarity why we are importing. Why we are importing when we are producing more than what we are supposed to consume. Thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, the Honorable Member. Madam Speaker, in my statement, there's no way I've said ZESCO is producing more than enough and we have surplus. What I said was the figures ZESCO are generating currently. And also I said we are importing about 511 to supplement to what we have. That's what was in my statement. So the reason why we are still importing is because I did give the honorable member and the nation, the national demand, which I put on 2,400 megawatts, compared to what we have, which is 1,900 megawatts. So if you check with the national demand and what we are generating, it's not equivalent. So that makes us to import so that we can supplement. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. We make progress. Questions for oral answer under Standing Order number 82. The Honorable Member for Chama North.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Question number 158. Thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Education.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Mr. Mtachalo of Chama North asked the Minister of Education, A, whether the government is aware that Form 1 pupils in some parts of Chama North parliamentary constituency and other rural constituencies have challenges in accessing secondary school education following the downgrading of basic schools to primary schools under the new education curriculum, and B, if so, what urgent measures are being taken to remedy the situation? Madam Speaker, I wish to inform the House as follows. A, government is aware of concerns regarding access to Form 1 places in parts of Chama North parliamentary constituency and the rural constituencies and other rural constituencies. These concerns have arisen in the context of the implementation of the revised education curriculum, which classified some former basic schools to primary schools, coupled with a policy of non-automatic progression from grade 7 to Form 1. And during this transitional phase, some communities have experienced pressure on nearby secondary school places, necessitating long travel distances for learners. However, Madam Speaker, it is important to place the situation in its proper context. In Chama District, the projected Form 1 enrollment for 2025 stood at 2,205 learners. As at the latest update, 1,870 Form 1 learners have already been enrolled in Chama North alone, against the same district projection covering both Chama North and Chama South. This demonstrates that placement has progressed significantly and remained within margins. Madam Speaker, there have been no official reports of eligible Form 1 learners being left without a place in the district. B, in response to anticipated pressures arising from curriculum reforms, the government proactively implemented targeted interventions to expand access to secondary education before the rollout of the revised curriculum. These measures included the completion of previously restored secondary school projects and the construction of 120 secondary schools under the Zambia Education Enhancement Project. In addition, existing secondary schools, particularly in rural and underserved areas, were expanded to increase intake capacity. Madam Speaker, a notable example is Chama Day Secondary School, which enrolled 656 Form 1 learners in the current intake compared to 233 learners in the previous year. This represents a 282% increase in enrollment, clearly illustrating government's deliberate efforts to absorb increased demand and prevent learner exclusion. Before 2024, the Ministry of Education also issued the circular number MOE 101/25/475, directing districts to identify and earmark selected primary schools for upgrading for secondary school status where enrollment levels and infrastructure are permitted. As a result, schools such as Kasangani, Kampemba, and Dungurungu, primary schools in Chama North, are now offering Form 1 classes, further easing access pressures. To reinforce these measures, Madam Speaker, the Ministry issued an additional circular, number MOE 101/25/475, dated 16th December 2025, which outlines urgent national interventions on the placement of Form 1 learners and the continued utilization of former basic schools during the transition period. This circular responds to reports of learners traveling excessively long and safe distances and provides clear guidance to provincial educational officers to ensure flexible use of existing infrastructure. These measures include sessional learning arrangements, rationalized deployment of teachers, and close supervision of the temporary learning facilities to ensure compliance with safety and quality standards. In addition, Madam Speaker, the Ministry continues to strengthen learner placement systems and bursary support mechanisms to ensure that no eligible learner is denied access to secondary education on account of distance or financial constraints. Provincial educational officers have been directed to submit regular progress reports to headquarters to enable close monitoring and timely resolution of emerging challenges. Madam Speaker, government remains committed to ensuring equitable access to quality secondary education for all learners, particularly those in rural and hard-to-reach areas, as the revised curriculum is implemented in a phased, responsive, and inclusive manner. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. Supplementary questions? The Honourable Member for Chama North.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you for this opportunity. Honourable Minister, thank you for your answers. I think first and foremost, I want to state that the new school curriculum is a progressive move because it's going to promote skills development so that we can encourage our people to go into blue-collar jobs instead of white-collar jobs. Now, Honourable Minister, I'll give, for example, we have schools like Sitwe. Sitwe is more than 60 kilometers from Chama Boma, and currently the situation is very, very bad because you mentioned about Chama Day Secondary School. Chama Day Secondary School was initially supposed to only enroll 3 Form 1 classes. But at the moment, if you went to Chama today, the situation is so bad that now it has gone to 8 classes, and we have to, the school administration at Chama Day have gone to ask for space at China Civil, a contractor who was doing the roads there. 8 classes. Up to this time, we still have children who are still languishing in the Boma, can't access Form 1. So won't you give special treatment to Sitwe and those schools which are far-flung? Because the Chama Day is also now catering Chama South, because the number of basic schools in Chama South have also been closed. So are you not going to give consideration to these far places where most of these children are failing to access Form 1, especially for a girl child, to leave the parents to come and start renting in the Boma? I think it's a very, very serious problem. So are you not going to give special consideration? Thank you.
The Honourable Minister of Education.
Madam Speaker, this is a problem when you say that I'll ask a follow-up question, and I'll frame it this way. What we are asking, actually, I answered it, if you are listening. And also, mind you, now I'm not trying to, because, Madam Speaker, you always tell our colleagues to come to our offices. Now, this particular member came to my office on the 3rd of February, brought this letter as a complaint. Even before I wrote back to him, he came here to Parliament the very day on those matters which are without notice. I was wondering why he had dropped this letter at my table. And I had to call the PS and several directors said, can we sit down and answer my colleague from Chama? You are Chama what?
North.
From Chama North. Only to come here in the afternoon to start asking the same thing that he had asked in a letter. There is a letter here. And so I do not know whether you wanted to waste my time in the office to get all those, yes, now listen to this, yes. It is very important, Madam Speaker, because this is what you always advise. So I had to painfully come here because this is Parliament, to look for this answer, yet I was preparing his answer. All right? So it is nice just to be populist in order to be heard just like that. Because I can now turn around and say that I'll come to Chairman North and start saying that, have you utilized CDF? But the issue is that I'd rather feel, let me say, use this word. I don't feel nice that my colleague would come early in the morning in my office. I congregate all my directors and my peers. It is written here. I can show you, Madam Speaker. I wrote here. He wrote to me. And I said, attention, PS, ES, kindly look into this matter. If anything, let us discuss. Fate. In the afternoon, he comes here. So, and now I am saying that the thing that he is asking, and here are the circulars. I have a circular here. First of all, we issued a circular in 2024. I still remember when Honorable Singombe asked a question here of a similar manner. I answered. Go and check in the answers. You'll find these answers are there, Madam Speaker. They've been asked. I also answered the same question, and I repeatedly said, this is on 16th. And for avoidance of doubt, we wrote another circular of the same nature, and we are saying that this is a transition period, and this is why I'm saying this curriculum is a phased program. So where we have such challenges, we have directed the PEOs and the DEPs to say that accommodate in those basic schools. This is what I answered 3 years ago when Honorable Member for Dunum was asked. So you can as well go and refer, if you think that I'm not telling the truth, go and check the same. But otherwise, I can show you this circular and check on it. Seatway that we are talking about is also inside the other one. So what do you want to ask? So it is important, very important, my brother. If you drop a letter, and then the same time I get everybody to work, it means that the time that you have waited enough for me to come and answer here, because it was directed on the 3rd, I could have written a letter to him already. But I had to stop this to reply to him in order to reply to this parliamentary question. So I don't know whether you still want me to reply to your letter, because you asked several things there, including Chibale Secondary School.
The Honorable Minister, since the question is already on the floor of the House, I would advise you just to respond to the question for the sake of the people, and the question is already here. The other one, I think it will be up to you, but this particular one, we can hear the responses from you. You may continue. Supplementary questions. The Honorable Member for Chitambo, what is your point of order before the Honorable Member for Chairman North?
Madam Speaker, thank you very much for according me the opportunity to rise on a point of order. Madam Speaker, the minister on the floor, Madam Speaker, is one minister that I hold with high esteem. But Madam Speaker, I'm scared right now here, because I wanted to even ask a question here, but the way he's pointing at us with papers and showing that he is not happy with all of us in here, I wonder whether, Madam Speaker, we shall continue to even ask questions. Is the minister, Madam Speaker, in order to be pointing at all of us with those papers and trying to show that we are not free to ask him questions? Madam Speaker, I need your serious ruling. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. I think I've already guided when I said the question will continue. I had even asked for supplementary questions. So the Honorable Member for Chitambo, if you've got a question, please you can ask the Honorable Minister. The Honorable Member for Chairman North.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity. Thank you, Minister, for your response. I think I want to put it on record that when we come here, we come to represent our people. And as the Minister has stated there, that letter was taken to his office on 3rd February. But what is the date today? Meanwhile, there's pressure coming from people in the constituents. So, yes, that was said. I mean, this year. So, meanwhile, there's pressure. I mentioned here that if you went to Chama today, it's not only Chama, Madam Speaker, it's almost most of the rural constituencies, these are the same problem. So if we hide you what is people are saying on the ground, then we are killing you, Honorable Minister. I will tell you that there's one traditional leader who said, I don't want to see anyone to campaign in my ward because of the same issue. So when we bring these issues to you, we expect you to attend to them, not trying to rebuke us. I don't think that has settled very well. So for us in Chama, we want a solution, Honorable Minister, not about the letter and so on, because by this time you should have responded. That's why this matter was raised.
You can ask your question, Honorable
Yeah, so, Madam Speaker, the situation is desperate. So me, I was asking whether some of these schools like C2 can be given special consideration. Because you see, those basic schools you have downgraded, it has brought many, many problems. So please, are you going to give a special consideration? There are schools in Chama South and in Chama North where people have to cover long, 60, 70 kilometers. Are they able to come and access education in the Boma? So are you not going to consider giving special attention to these schools which are very far from the Boma? That was my question, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Education.
Madam Speaker, we work through the PEOs and the District Education Board secretaries, and we write to these people who assess on the ground what is possible and what is not possible. State where you are talking about is as a result of infrastructure. If you had taken upon yourself for CDF, there are so many. This is why now we are getting to understand one thing, Madam Speaker, that this CDF in our colleagues' constituencies is not utilized to the fullest. So if you had taken the trouble of actually building a few infrastructure, especially Sitwe Basic School, and I'm informed by the DEPS this afternoon because I took the trouble of calling the DEPS. He said the kids are clamoring around the township. They don't want to go into the interland, even if there is space there. And I told you to say that the entire Chama district, Chama South and Chama North, it was about 2,000 and something like that, 2,205 learners. At the last count, 1,870 from one learners had been enrolled just in Chama North. What it tells you is that because this year, Madam Speaker, we did not do like cut-off points. Yes, we had cut-off points in certain schools, but every child who got a school certificate, we took them into class. We did not want them to remain outside class. Hence, you see now, looking as if they are being over-enrolled. Because at some point when we used just to say that we cut here, and those who have put school certificates, they are not pushed to go into Form 1, if you like, and grade 10. We are not doing that. Whoever has got a school certificate at grade 7 and at grade 9, we are giving them space rather than for them to remain outside because you have put a cut-off point on them. So we have written to the POs, we have written to the devs so that they find, because they are the ones who are our eyes down there. And I talked to your devs this afternoon. He said it's only that maybe parents and the kids themselves do not want to go into other. They want around town there. That's the explanation that I was given this afternoon. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Member for Chama South.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker and the Honourable Minister. Thank you for your responses. Madam Speaker, the question by Honourable Member for Chama North is a very practical question, Honourable Minister. I'll give you an example. In Chama South, there's a school called Chingozi Basic School, which is in Mapamba Ward. Pupils from that school, for them to access, because of the change in the curriculum, education facilities, they need to travel a distance of not less than 100 kilometers. It is Chifunda Day or Chama Day if they are not selected in the boarding schools. And the reason for the closure of that school, I think I brought to your attention, Honourable Minister, was that there was only one teacher and they decided to discontinue basic education at that school. I think I brought that to your attention. And I know there are such schools that are affected not because of infrastructure or indeed what is required to be at that school, but teachers whom you sent to rural areas abandoning their posts. And this is against the new Dawn government's education policy, because you are employing a lot of teachers who are leaving those posts, Honourable Minister. What measures are you putting in place to ensure that our pupils in Chama, and it's not only Chama, but countrywide in rural areas, are not affected, not because of deliberate closure or discontinuation of such facilities, but because teachers whom you have posted there have abandoned the posts? This is my question.
The Honourable Minister of Education.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I think that could pose a challenge, but what we have done now, if you are posted to if you like, a rural place and then you abandon, you have fired yourself. And this is a directive from the President. Whoever abandons, because when you apply, you are saying you work anywhere in Zambia. So if I take you to Chama North or Chama South, and then you abandon, because a professional teacher works anywhere. And when you agree to work, and they even sign forms to say that they'll be there for 4 years. Of course, there are exceptional issues if you are dealing with another person's health. But even then, we have gone further to start verifying whether the medical report which has been given is authentic as well. Because somebody can just bring a paper and then stamp, and then they write, you are here, you are not that side. But we are following up. So it is now, as I announced from the President's directive, if you abandon your place, you have just fired yourself, we shall replace you. And colleagues, don't come to my office and say that this is my niece. Okay? Don't come to my office and say this is my niece. Otherwise, your niece will have no job. Thank you.
The Honourable Member for Chitambo.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity. And allow me to thank the Honourable Member for Chama North for coming up with this question, because I'm one of those affected, actually, my constituency is affected by this same issue. And I've been to the Minister. We've spoken about this issue. Madam Speaker, the issue is quite severe in rural areas because female pupils are now meant to go and camp elsewhere. And this is bringing a challenge on the parents and us as members of Parliament, because now they need us to support them in terms of food, and also security-wise, the girl child is not safe. There's a researcher, Madam Speaker, who has done his thesis and is describing our education sector as becoming a pyramid, meaning that we are starting broadly at the grassroots. As these pupils are going up, the numbers are reducing. And I don't want to agree with the Minister that this is the reason why he has abolished certain schools. and maintain the schools which are very distant from each other. Madam Speaker, my question to the Minister is, Minister, is it possible to reverse this policy so that, hand in hand, we support the policies that you had put in place to see that a lot of pupils can attend education? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Education.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, my colleague from Chitambo. I guess you have gained your strength to ask me because you were afraid. Okay. No, the policy will not change. This is why we are saying this is a phased approach. It terminates its conclusive stage around 2028, 2029. Anything that starts which is new has got its own challenges and problems. And we must admit that. Otherwise, you will never start anything. All right? You crash land before you take off. There are certain things that you say when you are phasing out. It's just a phase. All right? With all those challenges, we try and mitigate those challenges. So I think that rather than abandon, otherwise you will tell me that can we abandon free education? Are you going to suggest that? You will not suggest that. The policy is good. It has brought every child into the school system. We knew what the challenge was going to be one time because many kids now want to go in school. Huh? For whatever reason, it means that they were thirsty for knowledge. Parents could not afford, and this must be driven home. This free education was as a result of parents who could not afford. Yeah. And the government took the burden of helping the parents who could not. How all of a sudden 2.3 million children were in school? Where did they come from? So one, it means that the parents could not afford or the guardians could not afford. Two, the kids wanted to be in school. How come is it that now that the numbers are more, the passing percentage rate has increased? How is it that the absenteeism rates, when numbers are increased, it is going down? It is the attendant factors that were put in place over this same free education that parents are no longer required to pay for the exams, for the kids to write the exams. Government showed us that burden. And I think that we are proud of doing that. Because for us, we believe that human beings are a very good asset of any country. If you don't invest in your own people, you can never invest in anything. So I think that let us carry this, as we have pronounced it, to say that this is a phased issue. With its attendant challenges, we will be sorting out those attendant challenges. And I want to call upon all of us, please, can we utilize, I also come from a rural area, by the way. So how am I managing to build a 6x1 in the village, upstairs in the village? And we are all Zambians and we are not doing the same things. So let us utilize CDF as well. This is why we had to apportion that CDF so that it goes direct to the people. And there are many colleagues that have been checking around. The CDF is not being utilized to the maximum, but yet it goes to everybody in every constituency, and equally that way. So we will one day take audit, because if we just say that, no, we shall see when we go for campaigns and then we say that we have not built, I will say that you never built, because I'll be using myself as an example. So this is what I built, this is what I built, this is what I built, using CDF. So I think let's carry on. Let us not abandon something that we have already embarked on. And as my colleague rightly said, this curriculum would have so many pathways, right, to take our children into skills and do all those things. So if we cannot continue with that, it means that we will not go anywhere as a country. Our children will not fit in the 21st century. The 21st century is about competences and not outcomes. Thank you.
Questions for oral answer under standing order number 80. The Honorable Member for Serenge.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Question 159.
The Honorable Minister of Local Government and Rural Development.
Madam Speaker, thank you so much. The Honourable Member of Parliament for Serenge, Honourable Kandafula, asks the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development when the government will complete the tiling of township roads in Serenge district and what the cause of the delay in completing the project is. In response, Madam Speaker, I wish to inform this August House that the government has plans to complete the tiling of township roads in Serenge districts. B, limited funds have delayed the completion of the projects. Therefore, the plans will be implemented once funds are made available. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Supplementary questions. The Honorable Member for Kafue.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We take note of the Minister's response, but I wanted to marry it with what was government position at one point, that township roads were not going to be a priority because focus was on economic roads. So is this the position that is still affecting the position of Serenge and indeed for many other towns like Kafue and elsewhere? I thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Local Government and Rural Development.
Madam Speaker, thank you so much, and I would like to thank my dear sister, the Member of Parliament for Kafue, for a follow-up question. Madam Speaker, what causes or what makes a government be strategic or minimize attending to some projects is the resource envelope. We all know, Madam Speaker, that not long ago, we were celebrating the success story where we have succeeded for the sixth time in our reforms with the IMF. So meaning, as we move towards this success story of the IMF program, the resource envelope will ease up so that other areas of need like the township roads, so the township roads are attended to. We are coming from the period when it was very difficult for the government to have a breather because of the debt that we have as a country. So with the reforms that the New Dawn government undertook and the success that have been scored, the resource envelope is being eased and a lot of roads, including Kafue, they will be attended to. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Serenge.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, the township roads in question, these were started in 2011 and about 32 kilometers, of which out of the 32 kilometers, only 7.6 was done, leaving a balance of 24.4 kilometers. And you know, Serenge is very much hilly, whereby some of these dumps which were left have even actually choked our only resource of water, which is the Ivolelo River. This is the very reason why we have been crying over this. Then the contractor just recently located with a hope to say that they might continue doing the same road. They were actually even contracted by ZESCO when they were doing the 15 megawatts power station. Now, the question that I would like to pose to you, as much as, yes, the resource envelope is quite minimal. Have you done have you done another contract survey so that probably part of the same township roads can be done, especially where it is hilly? Thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Local Government and Rural Development.
Madam Speaker, thank you so much, and I'd like to thank my dear colleague, the Honourable Member of Parliament for Serenge constituents for a follow-up question. Madam Speaker, 32 kilometers, the contract was awarded in 2011. 32 kilometers can't take such a period from 2011 to even 2024. We are talking of 13 years, sorry. It shows, Madam Speaker, that even when the contract was being awarded, the government then had no resource envelope. So the new Dawn administration, Madam Speaker, wants to take up projects when we know to say money is there. So arising from my response, Madam Speaker, from my statement, Madam Speaker, we are going to undertake feeder roads and township roads across the country as the breather is being, as it is showing now. What happened way back in 2011, awarding a contract of 32 kilometers, up to 2021, it was not completed. Completely, that's not the password for UPND. UPND wants to do works when money is available. I can assure my dear colleague to say, we are seeing the success stories economically. It means resources will be there very soon to attend to not only Serenge, but all the township roads in all the towns in Zambia. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Next question, the Honorable Member for Kanfinsa. Not in the House. The question lapses. We move to the next question, the Honorable Member for Nchelengi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Question 161.
The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, Honorable Dr. Simon Mwale, Member of Parliament for Nchelengi constituency, asked the Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security the following questions. A, whether the government has any plans to construct a new correctional facility in Nchelengi. B, if so, when the plans will be implemented. C, what the estimated cost of the project is. And D, if there are no such plans, why? Madam Speaker, in responding to the questions asked by the Honourable Member, I wish to state as follows. A, the House may wish to note that the government has continued to invest in infrastructure development within the Zambia Correctional Service through the construction of new facilities and rehabilitations of existing correctional centers. The government has prioritized the renovation and upgrading of existing facility, which was commissioned in 1956 and has a holding capacity of 35 inmates in Nchelengi. The planned works will modernize the center by renovating its infrastructure, equipping it with appropriate amenities, and expanding its overall capacity. Once completed, the upgraded facility will accommodate 400 inmates, comprising 350 spaces in the male section and 50 spaces in the female section. This intervention is aimed at improving living conditions for inmates and enhancing the operational efficiency of the correctional service. B, the government has no immediate plans to construct a new correctional facility in Nchelengi district. The planned works to renovate the existing facility will be implemented when funds are available. C, the estimated cost for the renovation of the correctional center in Chelenge district is 10.6 million. And D, the government has no immediate plans to construct a new correctional center in Chelenge district. Instead, priority has been placed on the renovating and upgrading the existing facility to improve its conditions and enhance its capacity. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Supplementary questions. The Honorable Member for Nchelengi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Just to put it on record, Minister, the situation which is happening now, it is demanding that maybe you need to visit to go and look at the situation which is there now. In this break, Madam Speaker, I took some time to visit the collection facility. This facility is hosting more than 200 inmates. A situation where we are combining the younger ones together with the elderly ones, meaning already we are dealing with issues of human rights. Would you consider at one point to just, when you have time in Luapula, to visit this facility? Because this is a facility that is supporting Chiengi, part of Kaputa, part of Unsama, Mwansabombwe, and itself in Cherenge. Would you consider that in the nearest future time, you could consider to renovate this facility? I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I just want to assure my colleague that I'll be visiting those facilities. I'll be opening a police station within Chelenge very soon, either at the end of this month or next month. I'll be able to visit the facility. I'm aware, Madam Speaker, that most of the facilities that are currently being used as correctional centers are not fit for habitation of inmates. There is so much congestion, and that's why we are expanding the facilities which we have. I sympathize with the inmates that are in Chelenge.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Chiengi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister,
you may continue.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, Honorable Minister, I know you are talking about visiting in Chelenge. The reason why I've stood up, Madam Speaker, in Chelenge, as the Honorable Member for Chelenge has alluded to, it also supports Chiengi. We don't have a prison or any correction service in Chiengi. So we all depend on Chelenge. Now, I'm wondering if it is so hard, Madam Speaker, for the government to find that 10 million, because 10 million is not something that a government can fail to find. Because it's very important that we are assisted as the people of Chiengi, Chelenge, and neighboring districts. So my question to the minister is, has the government failed to find 10 million? 10 million, because I've seen 10 million kwacha being donated to marketeers in Chingola. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, as I indicated, we have plans to rehabilitate this particular facility and any other facility. As you will be traveling, as you are campaigning for the president, Madam, you will note that actually a number of facilities in the country were built in the colonial area, and they are in dilapidated situation. We have started renovating a number of them, trying to ensure that they become habitable. But we have to take note that as a country, we have to place priorities as we embark on all these other ventures we want to provide for our people. You are aware that in Chienge, where you have been looking for roads and other infrastructure. And when we consider, together with yourself, we have to look at priorities. And this time round in Chienge, for the first time, we have decided to construct a road, a habitable road in Chienge. So that as you campaign there in Chienge for your presidency, they will tell you that it's Hakainde Hichilema who brought the road. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Chienge, what is your point of order?
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, our standing order, number 71, that we are supposed to be factual. Madam Speaker, the people of Chienge and Kashkishi Kaputa, they yearn for this road. Now, if the minister speaks here, it's a policy. And yet, Madam Speaker, not even a shovel, not even a picky is on the site. Which road can be constructed in 2 months, Madam Speaker? I would like I seek your indulgence, Madam Speaker. The minister should be factual. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Point of order.
Before you present your point of order, not knowing how the ministries have planned their works, it's very difficult for me. If the minister says something will be done in 2 weeks or 2 months, 2 years, it's really up to the minister with the plans that he has in his ministry. I can't argue with that or on that, because I don't know the plans by the ministry. So if the minister mentioned something like that, he's in order, he knows what he's talking about. The Honorable Minister of Infrastructure.
Madam Speaker, I raise on a serious point of order. It's on standing order number 71, relevance of what is said. Is the Honorable President Mayo Mayo in order to state that the plan that we have on Nchelenge to Chiengi Road, the plan which has resulted in us as this New Dawn government already carried out groundbreaking in Nchelenge itself. Is she in order to state that not a shovel has been put on site when she knows that the real construction of proper roads, as is the intention of the New Dawn government, always starts at the end of the rain season? Is she in order to state the way she did?
Thank you. Honorable members, we have actually moved away from the question that was on the floor of the House. The question was talking about construction of a correctional facility in Chirengi district. We even went away. We started talking about the roads now. So because of that, that point of order is not going to be taken. We are talking about the correctional facility in Chirengi district. We make progress. The next question, the Honorable Member for Chitambo.
Madam Speaker, I'm grateful. Question 162.
The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs, sorry. The Honorable Minister of Water Development and Sanitation.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Honorable Member of Parliament for Chitambo Parliamentary Constituency asks the Minister of Water Development and Sanitation, A, whether government has any plans to sink boreholes in the following areas in Chitambo Parliamentary Constituency. 1, Mangala and Ikunko in Katonga Ward, Miseshi, Misumba, Moses Mikosa, and Chikandakanda in Pelembe Ward, Kapempa and Mulembo in Chalilo Ward. B, if so, when the plans will be implemented, and C, if there are no such plans, why? Madam Speaker, in response to the question asked by the Honourable Member of Parliament, I wish to inform the House that yes, government has plans to sink boreholes in Mangala, Ikunko, Miseshi, Misumba, Moses Mikosa, Chikandakanda, Musangashi, Kapepa, and Mulembo of Chitambo constituency. Madam Speaker, in B, 2 contractors have since been engaged for works in various districts of Central Province, and advance payment has been made. For Chitambo, the works are scheduled to commence in March 2026. C, Madam Speaker, as mentioned in A, yes, indeed, government has plans to sink boreholes in the aforementioned wards of Chitambo parliamentary constituency. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. Supplementary questions. The Honourable Member for Chitambo.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and I'm so grateful that the Minister has saved the people of Chitambo by giving them more water. Madam Speaker, my simple question is, Minister, on the boreholes that you have given us, which we are very grateful about, are these going to be the water kiosks that you've been talking about? Are you going to upgrade them to water kiosks, or will they just be boreholes as mere boreholes? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honourable Minister of Water Development and Sanitation.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I wish to receive the message of thanks from the people of Chitambo. This is indeed a listening government, and whenever you come for us, whenever you come to us, we will provide water to the great people of Chitambo constituency. Madam Speaker, among these boreholes, I think about 4 will be upgraded and mechanized, and these include Mpelembe at Mpelembe Secondary School, Lusenga at Malaushi Village, Chitambo at Chitambo Mission Hospital Market, Nakatambo at Shadrach Milo Health. So these will be upgraded to piped water schemes, complete with the tank and solar. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. The Honourable Member for Chiengi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, Chitambo is a rural constituency, just like my constituency. Madam Speaker, water is life. The question from the Member of Parliament was, when are you going to give us water kiosks or what? Now, I've listened to the Minister, him giving a list of where they're going to do the kiosks. My interest in that is that when are they doing that exactly? Because the creation of a kiosk is not something that can even be promised for years or months. So I'd like to know the timeline. When are the people of Chitambo be given these kiosks? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honourable Minister of Water Development and Sanitation.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much for that question from Chiengi, and I can understand that she may not have a lot of details because the substantive Member of Parliament, Honourable Remember Mutale, has been very well informed. So they will be giving, the contractor will be on site in March, and the first boreholes, actually the ones which will have the normal pumping equipment will be given to them in April, May. However, the water pipe schemes, as I've informed the Honourable Member of Parliament, these will come a few weeks later. The Honourable Member of Parliament has been to my office, and we are in sync. And since this is a constituency-based question, he has since actually also informed his constituents in Chitambo. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. The last member, the Honourable Member for Chiruvi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Minister did mention that the project is likely to start in March. And looking at where Chitambo falls in terms of agroecological zones. It's one of those that actually are receiving quite good rains this year, and meaning that the water table may be a false water table, and those that will be doing boreholes, Madam Speaker, based on groundwater. And given that this project is March, April, and May, we are likely to get boreholes that when they reach, say, August, September, and October, are likely to have a challenge because, of course, the water table will be accessed easily because that's when the rains will just be winding up. Is the minister not considering pushing the, I know that it may be against the desire of the person who has asked the question, but I'm also looking at the area in which this particular constituency falls, especially in accessing the water table, because the boards are likely to dry up. Is the minister thinking of pushing the dates, say, later than March?
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Water Development and Sanitation.
Thank you very much for that question. It's a very technical question. And Madam Speaker, maybe it will be very important to clarify for the benefit of a lot of members of Parliament here and just the wide populace. Madam, before we drill any boreholes, Madam, we cite them. Then we also do geophysical investigation. So we do tests on these boreholes. So it doesn't matter whether you drill a borehole in the rain season or in the dry season, because you drill them and equip them as per parameters you find. So the Honourable Member of Parliament should be comfortable that even when we drill during the rain season, we will determine first and foremost the characteristics of would determine the geology of that area and obviously drill these boreholes appropriately. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. Next question, the Honorable Member for Kasenengwa. Not in the House. The question lapses. Honorable members, I have an announcement to make. As you may be aware, Standing Order number 61-1 of the National Assembly of Zambia Standing Orders for 2024 provides that the House shall dispose the business in the order it appears on the order paper, or in such a manner as the Speaker may, for the convenience of the House, direct. On the order paper today, Tuesday, 10th February 2026, the order of the day is appearing as item number 9. I wish to, however, inform the House that I've brought the consideration of the order of the day forward so that the order of the day is considered immediately after consideration of questions for oral answer under Standing Order number 18. Thereafter, the House will consider the motion of thanks. I thank you. The clerk will now read the order of the day.
The Teaching Profession Bill, National Assembly Bill number 14 of 2025, report stage.
The Honorable Minister of Education.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move that the report of the committee be adopted.
As no notice has been received of any further amendment, is it your will that the report of the committee be adopted? Any objection? I see none. Report adopted. Day for third reading. Honorable Minister. Day for third reading.
Tomorrow, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Third reading of the report of the bill to be taken on tomorrow. Motion. Her Honor the Vice President.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move that this House places on record its thanks to His Excellency Mr. John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana, on the occasion of his special address to the House.
Thank you. The question is that this House places on record its thanks to His Excellency Mr. John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana, on his special address to the House. Any debate? Her Honor, the Vice President.
Madam Speaker, the National Assembly of Zambia was greatly honored to host His Excellency Mr. John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana, who addressed the House on Thursday, 5th February 2026. Madam Speaker, the address covered a number of important issues of common interest to both the people of Ghana and Zambia. In this regard, allow me to make a few observations about the bilateral relations between the Republic of Ghana and Zambia. Madam Speaker, our national bilateral relations date back to the dawn of independence, when our founding leaders, Dr. Kenneth David Kaunda and Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, shared Pan-African ideas and led our two countries to independence from British colonial rule. Madam Speaker, Ghana attained independence in 1957, the first country to do so in sub-Saharan Africa. And this no doubt inspired other African countries to strive for their independence, which Zambia eventually attained in 1964. Since then, Zambia and Ghana have maintained strong diplomatic ties, collaborating on regional issues, trade, and development. We continue to root our bond in our shared values of democracy, human rights, and African solidarity. Zambia and Ghana will continue to strengthen this bond that has existed since 1964, and will continue to cooperate with the African Union, United Nations, non-aligned movement, and the Commonwealth of Nations for the mutual benefit of the people of both countries. Madam Speaker, the recent visit to Zambia by the President of the Republic of Ghana has further consolidated these long-standing ties and yielded tangible outcomes, including the signing of 10 Memoranda of Understanding, MOUs, aimed at strengthening cooperation across key sectors of mutual interest. Key among the memoranda is the introduction of a visa-free travel arrangement, which will enable citizens of the two countries to move freely without the visa requirement between Zambia and Ghana, thereby promoting tourism, facilitating business engagements, and enhancing cultural exchange, among others. Madam Speaker, as I conclude, allow me to place on record my sincere gratitude for this historical moment of having received His Excellency Mr. John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana, to this august House. I implore the House to deliberate on the issues raised in his address that not only affect our work as parliamentarians, but are also of national, regional, and international importance to both nations. Finally, Madam Speaker, I wish to reiterate our continued commitment to further develop cooperation between the two countries in various sectors and at different levels. Madam Speaker, I beg to move.
Thank you. Honorable members, this motion has to be concluded today.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, for giving this opportunity to debate on the motion of the speech by the President of Ghana, His Excellency Mr. John Dramani Mahama. Madam Speaker, on the onset, I want to say that I support his speech, and it was so inspiring. And I could see that both our President, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zambia, and the President of Ghana, they share same values and the policies which are really developing the two nations. They are really true sons of Africa. If you look at also on the mining industry, the way Ghana is striving, he talked about the small miners who are able to mine sustainably, giving the economy of Ghana a revenue up to 10 billion. This is very exciting. And indeed, this is the trajectory that Zambia is taking, that now we are supporting the small-scale miners. From what we have seen in Mfumbwe, it's in Pika, Kasempa, we have seen a lot of small-scale miners that have been given licenses so that they can start mining, and also so that we have our own youth who can mine and who can give us revenue as a country that we much need. We all know that this time our budget is really homegrown. We are depending on our own resources within their country. And this is one way that the country can have revenue that can support our budget. So we really see that these two countries, their policies are really working. And also the other thing that really excited me is the issue of, the President talked about the supporting women, He said in every sector, they make sure that in Ghana, at least 30% there's women representation. We have seen also in Zambia that our president drove, this trajectory that we should have, at least for the first time in our constitution, enshrined that we should have, a deliberate policy of supporting women, try to participate in decision-making. We saw what we did as parliamentarians. So we see that these countries are driving in the same trajectory. Policies are good. Policies are driving towards, developing our countries. If you look on page 2, Madam Speaker, also what he said really excited me, excited the people of Kabwe, where he said for a long time, too many African countries remain trapped, in dependence on external actors for security, dependence on donor funds, and also on supplies of critical minerals. So this is what, as African countries, we should drive out of it. We should make sure that we start now depending on our own national resources. We should define our own sovereignty by making sure that we look for we utilize our own national resources to develop our country, to develop our own economy. So this is very important for us. It's lesson learned. And indeed, I can say that is what we are doing as Zambians. And we just want to make sure, let us enhance these points and make sure that we really depend on our own national resources for our own economic development. So I'm very, very happy on this one. And also maybe to mention on the mining that I talked about, that learning the lesson from Ghana, now is a time that through the means of mines, we need to make sure that we move at a supersonic speed. So make sure that now we see the actual mining starting. We see that we support our own youth so that they start also mining, so that we start realizing the much needed revenue to develop our country. Madam Speaker, I want also to say that the President talked about democracy, that sometimes we feel democracy is not supporting development in our country. But he said democracy is very good. It helps to develop our country if we will manage it. What I can urge all our leaders that in 2026, this year in August, we'll have elections. But there will be a time when we have different ideas, when we go in the battlefield. After the battlefield, we need to change the narrative that after elections, we all need to focus on development. If we need to, the things that we do not agree, let us agree, on a round table, than even disputing things that are good for our people. So that if we start disputing, fighting for no cause reason, we can't see any development in our country. So democracy is very, very good, but after elections, we all need to put our heads together to make sure what can we do? How do we implement programs that our people can benefit? So this is what I can say about this speech. It's very, very important for us, and it was rich for us, and it's a wake-up call that if we all work together, we can make sure that we develop our country. Madam Speaker, having said this, I say thank you so much. I really support this speech. Thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member from Ghana. As the time is 16:40 hours, I suspend business for 20 minutes.
For being with us on Parliament television, business has been suspended for 20 minutes for that health break. And at the time business was suspended, the House was considering a motion moved by the Republican Vice President. Thanks His Excellency Mr. John Dlamini Mahama's special address that his House places on record. It's thanks to His Excellency Mr. John Dlamini Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana, on his special address to the House, and seconded by Mrs. Chrysosta Halwindi, Kabwe Central Member of Parliament. At that time, business was suspended. It was Nkana Member of Parliament, Mr. Beno Mpondo, who was about to start debating the special address.
Yes, Sir Purpose, and we look at what has been discussed on the floor of the House from the time the House started sitting at 14:30 hours. There were quite a few announcements that were made on the floor, with one of the announcements in which Madam Speaker recognized the presence in the public gallery of pupils and teachers from Lumbo Secondary School in Gwembe District. Madam Speaker also did recognize in the public gallery of district and a constituency executive committee members of the United Party for National Development, UPND, from Livingstone District, and on behalf of the institution, she welcomed the visitors to the House.
And again, Madam Speaker did also inform the House that the Parliamentary Information and Research Library has been granted permission to conduct a special exhibition of the library collection in the chamber foyer here at Parliament Buildings. The exhibition will commence today, Tuesday, 10th, and will continue until Thursday, 12th February 2026.
Madam Speaker did mention that a curated section of the library's most valuable and insightful books will be on display. She said that this collection has been carefully chosen to reflect a rich history of the legislation, political thought, and national development that forms the very foundation of deliberations in the Honourable House. She therefore encouraged all honourable members to take a moment, as their schedules would allow, to visit the exhibition table at the main building at the Parliament Buildings foyer, and to ultimately visit the library to access books of interest and other information in both electronic and hard copies. She did mention that the library staff will be on hand to attend to any questions and assist the members of Parliament in any possible way.
So those were the announcements that were rendered on the floor of the House. And after those announcements, Madam Speaker did permit the Minister of Energy to render a ministerial statement. And the ministerial statement was on the electricity situation in the country. And the Minister did update the House and highlighted government policy direction anchoring on three priorities, and these are to stabilize electricity supply for households, businesses, industries, and essential public service. 2, to diversify and expand the national electricity mix over the medium to long term to enhance resilience. And lastly, to achieve universal access to clean, sustainable, and reliable energy for all Zambians by the year 2030. And we'll be able to share with you the detail of this ministerial statement at the end of today's business.
And the House also went on to consider one question for oral answer understanding order 82 and 4 questions understanding order number 80. One question lapsed because at the time the question was about to be considered, the Member of Parliament was not in the House. So in this case, the question was not considered. So that is business that has been considered on the floor of the House of Fund. Yet to come is the motion that has just been moved by Her Honor the Vice President on President Mahama's speech to the House that will be discussed when the House resumes sitting at 17 hours. And just now we take a break.
Get ready for the 17th meeting of the Network of African Parliamentary Committees of Health, NEPACO, from 25th to 27th February 2026 at the Mulungushi International Conference Center, Kenneth Kaunda Wing, under the theme Repositioning Parliamentarians to Enhance Health Systems for Emergency Response, Equity, Resilience, and Sustainability in the context of attaining universal health coverage. Join parliamentarians from over 27 African countries as they drive health equity, resilience and sustainability for all Africans. Catch the live broadcast of all the